Hi everybody and welcome to A World of Tanks Battle Report. If you haven't watched the first World of Tanks battle, there is a spoiler warning right now. In the first battle, the German tank platoon captured a strategically important objective, and they are now eager to continue their progress. They have pushed the Allies back, and they are now ready for a final assault that will secure the area. The German tank platoon approaches from the east, and they must assault the Allied base. If a tank is within a measuring arrow of an objective, they will score 1 victory point in the command phase, and if they score 2 victory points before turn 8, the German tank platoon will win. 2 American tanks will defend the base and do all they can to slow the German progress. Let's meet the tanks in this battle. First tank in the German tank platoon is the Panzer III. Very, very fast, but not with much firepower, and it's also a very fragile tank. Next up, the tank destroyer Jagdpanzer Hetzer. Better firepower and survivability, and also fast. Finally, the muscle in the German tank platoon, the Tiger II heavy tank with firepower 6 and survivability 3, and also a lot of hit points. The Tiger II is upgraded with a modified configuration. First tank in the American tank platoon is the M26 Pershing, medium tank with great firepower and survivability. It's a good all-round tank, and it's upgraded with smooth ride and has a tank filled with CO2. The M26 is accompanied by a T29 heavy tank. Less firepower, but great survivability. And the T29 is upgraded with a crew member, Quinn Kennel, the gunner, with several extra abilities, and a second upgrade, Call for Vengeance. The German tank platoon will have to cross the river to reach the Allied base. They can do so by crossing the bridge, and there is also a point in the lower left section of the river. The Jagdpanzer is already on the other side of the river, ready for the assault. So let's see now who has the advantage in the first round. And the advantage will go to the American tank platoon with 1 critical hit versus 1 regular hit. Let the battle begin with round number 1. With the low initiative of 4, the Tiger II will move first. It will be able to move twice, and it will do so and stop just before the bridge. Next up is the T29, also with an initiative of 4, but with the advantage on the American side, it will move after the Tiger. Also, 2 move actions, and it will now be in cover in the forest. The Jagdpanzer is next with initiative 5. So 1 move action along the river, and a second action to take it even closer to the American tank platoon. The M26 Pershing also has initiative 5, but with the advantage it will move after the Jagdpanzer, between the houses and behind the stone wall. And from this position it might be able to have line of sight to the Tiger. And finally, the very fast Panzer III tank with 8 initiative and mobility 3. It will move 2 times only, and that will take it to the top of this hill with a great line of sight to the other side of the river. And from this position it will be able to see the T29. And in the shooting phase, the highest initiative tank will fire first. And with a firepower of 3, the Panzer III will fire against the T-29. The T-29 has survivability 3, and with 2 movements of each tank it will have the maximum 6 defense dice. And the Panzer III will reroll 1 die because it's a medium tank. So let's see if the T-29 can resist, and it looks like there will be no hits. It will also be able to reroll 1 die because it's a heavy tank, but it won't really make a difference. So next in the shooting phase is the M26 Pershing. With a firepower of 6, it is really a dangerous tank to face. But on the other hand, the Tiger II has a survivability of 3, and both tanks have moved twice, so it will also have the maximum 6 defense dice. Let's see. And 5 regular hits. No criticals, but 5 hits, and it will be able to reroll 1. Again, because of the medium tank, but it will fail the reroll. But still 5 hits. But what a defense roll. All 6 dice show regular or critical hits. So no damage taken. The Tiger will easily shake off the hits. The Jagdpanzer with the assault gun will have no other tanks in line of sight, so it will not be able to shoot. Instead, it's now the T-29, and it will be able to target the Tiger or the Panzer III. The T-29 has a firepower of 5, and the Panzer III have a survivability of 0. But with the movement, it will still roll 4 defense dice. And the T-29 will have 2 hits and 1 critical. But the Panzer III will also be able to shake off the attack. No hits. That leaves the Tiger II as the final tank to take a shot, and it will turn the turret against the T-29. The Tiger has a firepower of 6, and the T-29 has a survivability of 3, and with both tanks moving and in cover, it will easily have the maximum of 6 defense dice. Now let's see if the Tiger can be on target here. 3 hits from the Tiger, not the best, but still the T-29 must block them. So 6 defense dice, and it will be able to reroll 1, but it won't be necessary. It will block all the Tiger shots. And that was the end of the first round. In the command phase, there is nothing to do. None of the tanks need repair, and there are no objective markers under control. So, with the tanks approaching each other, we will roll for advantage in the second round, and then proceed. And that's a pretty bad advantage roll. And again, not the best, but the German tank platoon will take the advantage in round number 2. And with the advantage on the other side, the move order will be different, and the T-29 is up first, and it will stay stationary in the forest, no movement. Next up, the Tiger, and it will move over the bridge for the first movement, and well, it looks like it will continue along the road, so it will be on the other side of the river and maybe able to target both American tanks from this position. And let's see if that forces the M26 Pershing to move back between the houses, behind the house here in cover. It might be able to target some of the German tanks anyway, but it is in cover behind the ruined building. 2 movement actions. And then the Jagdpanzer will move 1 move action to the edge of the forest and a second move action. And it will move through the forest and take position, point the assault gun at the village and the M26. And again up last, as the tank with the highest initiative, the Panzer III will take all 3 movement actions, and that will take it to the center of the bridge. It will attack and shoot first, and it will have a great line of sight, but it's also exposed here on the middle of the bridge. And it will point the turret at the T-29. 3 firepower attack dice, and the T-29 with survivability 3, loads of movement and cover, will have the 6 defense dice. So let's see if the Panzer III can penetrate the armor, and even with the reroll, it's 1 critical hit. And as expected, the T-29 will not take any damage. The Jagdpanzer has clear line of sight to the M26. It has a firepower of 4, and the M26 has survivability 2. It has moved twice, and the Jagdpanzer also with 2 movement actions. That will give 6 defense dice. And 1 hit, and it's not a medium tank, it is a tank destroyer, so 1 critical hit. And the M26 will roll loads of critical dice, so no damage. A lot of shots, but so far no tanks have taken any kind of damage. Let's see if the M26 can change that. With firepower 6, the turret is aimed against the Panzer III, right in the middle of the bridge, and with survivability 0 and movement 3, it will have 4 defense dice. And there are 4 hits so far, and the reroll wasn't any good, so the defense dice 3, 2 critical, 1 regular. That's not enough. The Panzer III will take 1 damage. It has 4 hit points, so it will easily survive 1 point of damage. And now the Tiger. And it will choose the T-29 as the target. Again, 6 attack dice, and the T-29 will also have the maximum of 6 defense dice. And it will be in cover. And the Tiger will end up with 2 hits and 2 critical. That will not be easy for the T-29 to defend. 6 defense dice. Ooh, and it looks good. And it can re-roll. But there will still be 5 good defense dice. It will again absorb and block all damage from the Tiger. And finally, the T-29 can fire now against the Panzer III, who was already hit previously in this round with 1 damage. It will have a firepower of 5, and it's stationary in this round, so it can reroll all failed hits, and that will be necessary. 3 hits and 1 critical, so the Panzer III will be hit this time with only 3 defense dice, and it's nowhere near enough to block the hits. This will be fatal. The critical hit will be removed, but that will leave 3 regular hits. It has already taken 1 point of damage. It's a total of 4. The Panzer III will explode right in the middle of the bridge. And that concludes the second round. The German tanks rolled forward, but the Panzer III went too far. It was exposed on the bridge, and it's now taken out of this battle. It's 2 against 2. And we will roll for initiative in the third round. 1 hit on the German side, but the American tank platoon will beat that and will have the advantage in round 3. In the third round, the lowest initiative will be the Tiger II. and it will move only once this turn. A position right out in the open, but able to shoot at both American tanks. The T-29 will move next. And again, it will not move, but stay stationary in the forest. It has a clear line of sight to the Tiger II. Then it's the Jagdpanzer. And 2 move actions, and the Jagdpanzer will be able to target the T-29 from this position. And since the T-29 has already moved, it will be able to take a shot. And that is if it's not destroyed before that. The M26 Pershing moves once, and with a second move, it will be able to stay out of line of sight of the Jagdpanzer, but it will still be able to target it. And the last tank to move is also the first tank to shoot, and the Jagdpanzer is not really the threat here. The M26 has a chance to fire at the Tiger II, and it will have a flank shot. So 6 firepower dice against the Tiger. And this time the Tiger will only have 5 defense dice. 3 for survivability, 1 for its own move action, and only 1 instead of 2 because of the smooth ride of the M26. And then another dice will be removed because of the flank shot, so 4 defense dice. But it looks like the M26 will not really take advantage of that. 1 reroll because of the medium tank. So it's 1 critical and 1 regular hit, but look at the Tiger defense. No matter how many defense rolls the Tiger has, it is really hard to penetrate that armor. Now the Jagdpanzer will aim its assault gun at the T-29 in the forest. 4 firepower, but it will face a lot of defense dice, 3 survivability, 2 for movement, and 1 for cover. So we have the maximum of 6 defense dice. But we have 3 hits here. So it's not just something that the T-29 can shake off. But again, a great defense roll, more than enough, even without the reroll. And now the T-29 must pick a target. And again, the Tiger is in the line of fire. And the T-29 has 5 attack dice. The Tiger will have the usual 3 for survivability, but only 1 for movement. And on top of that, the T-29 can reroll all blank dice because it was stationary. And that is really necessary, only 1 good attack dice, but this looks a lot better. 2 critical hits and 2 regular hits. So the Tiger must really perform a good defense roll. It's not good enough. The Tiger will take 2 critical hits. The first one here will be a jammed turret and 1 damage. So 1 damage, and the next one is a lucky hit, 2 additional point of damage. A jammed turret, according to the rules, is the assault gun rule, but I chose to house rule it in this battle report, so the turret is jammed in the position it was when it was hit. So it will be able to fire at the M26 Pershing. And as usual, from the Tiger II, the M26 will face a firepower of 6 dice. And we have 3 regular hits, 1 critical. And what happens here is that only 1 good defense die will block the critical and leave the regular 3 damage. So the M26 is now down to 4 hit points. In the command phase, the Tiger II can try to repair the turret, and it's a success. It took 2 attempts, but the Tiger can reroll failed repair rolls with the modified configuration equipment. So the turret is no longer jammed. And that is the end of the round. The M26 and the Tiger II both took some damage in this round. Let's go to the next. And the advantage in round 4 will go to the American tank platoon with 2 crits against 2 regular dice. Round 4. Again, the Tiger moves first, and this time it will move twice, and it will move directly towards one of the objectives. 2 moves, and not close enough to take the objective, but very well on the way. The T-29 finally leaves the forest with 2 move actions, one out of the forest here, and a second one down the field towards the road, and this flank maneuver will take it behind the Tiger. And then the Jagdpanzer will move back towards the forest here on the other side of the building, and it will be able to position itself right on the edge of the forest with line of sight to the T-29. Finally, the M26 that was hit in the last round. It's a slight reposition here, 1 move action, and it will again be able to flank the Tiger. So the Tiger is on its way towards the objective, but it is in a very exposed position. Again, the M26 will not hesitate, but fire all 6 attack dice against the Tiger. And this time, the Tiger has moved twice. And that will give a total of 5 defense dice because of the smooth right ability again of the M26. And since it's a flank shot, 1 defense dice will be removed. So this could mean trouble for the Tiger. 1 reroll because of a medium tank, and that gives only 2 regular hits. And once again, the Tiger armor will not leave any damage through. A wasted opportunity for the American tank platoon here. Question is if they are able to get the Tiger down at all. Time will tell. Now it's the Jagdpanzer. And with the assault gun, there is only 1 target, the T-29. 4 attack dice versus 6 defense dice. Ooh, and there we have it. 3 regular and 1 critical hit. All of the attack dice showed something. And that looks very, very disturbing. There will be 2 defense dice from the T-29, and that will cancel 1 critical and 1 regular hit, but it will take 2 damage. So, as soon as the T-29 left the forest, it became a target, and it has 2 damage now. It's down to 5. And even though it was just hit, the T-29 will continue its hunt for the Tiger. 5 attack dice. And it's a rear attack that will cancel 1 defense dice. But let's see first. Ooh, yeah. 4 hits, 2 regular, 2 critical. That will be difficult to overcome for the Tiger. And in this case, I forgot that this was a flank attack and that the Tiger actually is in cover and hull down behind the wall. So that will even out, I guess. And the Tiger will take 1 damage for the regular hit and a critical hit. The Tiger has 8 hit points, it's down to 4, and once again it's a jammed turret. 1 damage, and this time the turret points straight forward, so now it's technically an assault gun. And it takes the Tiger's total damage to 5 points. 3 hit points left. And now it was the Tiger's turn to shoot, but it cannot shoot because it's not able to turn the turret. So no shooting for the Tiger. And in the command phase, another try and a reroll to repair the jammed turret, and this time it will not be repaired, so it will continue with the assault gun rule and the turret pointing straight forward. Question is, do we have a wounded Tiger? It will be exciting to see if the German tank platoon will continue to push forward towards the objectives. Roll for advantage, and a great American roll that will be very difficult to beat for the German tank platoon, and that does not happen. So once again, the American tank platoon will have the advantage. Round 5. The tiger will begin, and it will move and turn around, and it will be close enough to capture one objective that will give one victory point to the German tank platoon if the objective here is not contested by the American tank platoon. But remember, the Tiger has an assault gun. It cannot fire in other directions than straight forward. The T-29 will roll right between the houses and crush the wall. On its way, one move action only. It will not be able to reach the Tiger or contest the objective anyway, so it will stay here, and it will be able to target the Tiger, of course. And that maneuver leaves it very fragile, because now the Jagdpanzer can move and shoot the T-29 in the flank. And one move action is enough for the Jagdpanzer. The M26 will also only move one time, and that will take it clear of the building, and it can target the Tiger as well as the Jagdpanzer now. We'll see what will happen. One move it is. And it will decide the Tiger as the target again. 6 attack dice. And the Tiger will have 3 survivability and 2 for movement. This time it will be hit from the front. And it's a pretty good attack roll. 4 hits, 1 critical. And after the heavy tank reroll, the 3 regular hits will be cancelled, leaving only 1 critical. So the Tiger will take a critical hit yet again. And that's a lucky hit. The Tiger 2 is in trouble. 2 additional damage will take it to a total of 7. Only 1 hit point left. It's down into the red zone. 1 more hit will take it down. But the Jagdpanzer, of course, can do something about that. It can destroy the T-29 before it's able to shoot. So 4 attack dice versus 4 defense dice. And there are 2 hits and only 1 defense die. It will be able to reroll 1 because it's a heavy tank, but that will still not do anything good. 1 hit will go through. So more damage to the T-29, but it's not destroyed, so it can fire at the Tiger. It can end the Tiger now. And if the Tiger is destroyed, it will not score the objective, of course. Firepower 5 versus 5 defense dice. And we have 3 hits. Now, this could be the end of the proud Tiger 2 tank. 3 hits, but it will block the damage. It will cancel the damage and not take any kind of damage. The Tiger will survive this round, and it will be able to shoot, of course, this time. So 6 attack dice against the M26 Pershing. And that is a chance to do some real damage, but no, not really. 1 hit. The Pershing will easily cancel that hit and take no damage. In the command phase, the Tiger will attempt to repair the turret once again, and this time the Tiger is successful. The turret is no longer jammed, and the German tank platoon will score 1 victory point for the objective. If they score another victory point, this is a German win. So the American platoon is in a hurry, but the Tiger is wounded. It will be absolutely crucial to have the advantage in the next round. 1 good roll, and the German tank platoon will beat the Americans this time. Let's go to round 6. And with advantage on the German side, the T-29 must move first. And it will take 2 move actions that will take it right up close to the Tiger, and it will be within reach of the objective. So with that position, the Tiger will not score the objective at the end of this round. Clearly within 1 measuring arrow. So the Tiger is up next, and it will move slightly away, turn around, still within reach of the objective if the T-29 should be destroyed this round. And the American tank platoon will focus all fire on the Tiger, almost as if the Jagdpanzer is not even there. And the Germans really could have used the very fast Panzer III now. Maybe they would have been able to reach the other objective. The Jagdpanzer is not so fast, so it will move almost half the way to the objective, and from this position it can fire in the flank of the T-29, but it will be able to reach the objective in the next round, if there is a next round. The goal for now for the Jagdpanzer is to destroy the T-29. 4 attack dice, and the T-29 will have all 6 defense dice, except for 1, because it's a flank attack. And here we have the roll, and it's a disaster. It's not even necessary to roll the defense dice. Oh my god. And now the Tiger must hope that something similar will happen to the M26. 6 attack dice. And again, it's a flank attack against the Tiger. With smooth right, the Tiger will only have 3 defense dice. And here we have 1 critical and 1 regular hit. And with the reroll, another regular hit. 3 hits, the Tiger must block them all, and it will not. And even with the heavy tank reroll, at least 2 regular points of damage will go through. It will be too much. The Tiger blows up, and that will be the end for the German tank platoon, I'm sure. The T-29 can still turn the turret around and fire at the Jagdpanzer. Could the American tank platoon destroy both German tanks in this round? That would be incredible. It's 5 attack dice. And let's see if that can happen. 3 hits, and the Jagdpanzer has 3 hit points, but it will bravely defend the shots. And that was the end of this round. The Americans finally got the Tiger, and the T-29 is positioned so it will be able to move towards the objective, and that means the Jagdpanzer will no longer be able to win this battle and withdraw. It was a close call, but in the end, the combined firepower of the T-29 and the M26 overcame the German tank platoon and especially the Tiger II armor. With the upper hand, the American platoons along with the other allies can now plot attacks and counterstrikes against the Germans. Thanks a lot for watching this battle report. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and I hope you'll join me for future bat reps.